Hey, yo. What's poppin', gang? All right. We back and we are officially into, what do we want to call this, man? Y'all let me know what y'all want to call this. I feel like this is like the news hour. You know, we are a reaction channel, so we react to everything, but then we kind of turn into like this news channel, and then we start becoming lawyers and diving into legal documents. This is crazy because you would never think that in hip hop we would have to do this, but we do. Shout out to Carne in the building, man. What up? Shout out to Positive Vibes. Av, what up, my boy? Minnie Mousey in the building. Noah's here. Kalani is here. Bane is here. Iceman, Manchild, what up? JoJo is here. Classy K. Everybody, man, make sure y'all hitting that like button on the way in. Like I say, so the video gets recommended to others, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't done that already. Really helps the channel grow and helps us at least get our beacon out there so people know we're doing something really dope over here. But yeah, there's quite a bit of Drake news that's coming out here as always, and I've started to feel like it's misdirection or it's to cover up or hide. It's like smoke and mirrors, right? Like something else is going on behind the scenes, and some things have popped up that I probably won't even talk about on the channel because I don't know what that could do for us over here, so we don't want to touch that. But there's a couple of other things that we're gonna be getting into today. But we want to start here, right? So we got two separate videos we're gonna be doing. We got this one and we're gonna be doing another one. Shout out to my dogs over at the Ville, man. My dog the Ville over here posted this video yesterday. We did see this information about Joe Cat, which we discussed a couple of days ago. The whistleblower basically said, hey, I can help, I can provide information. This isn't for either side. This is just for me to help. And I thought that was kind of weird. And then we found out that there was a way that there could be some sort of kickback if they were actually used as information, which it seems like at this point doesn't look like that's gonna be happening, right? So the whistleblower in Drake and UMG's lawsuit gets denied. So shout out to the homies over there at the Ville. Like I said, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to them as well. Also, huge thank you to the lawyers that tap in with the streams, comment and give us information maybe if we don't understand something, if we don't know something. But shout out to all the lawyers, man. I appreciate y'all. Like I said, we want to kind of set y'all up with a spot in Discord. Maybe we can ping y'all and ask y'all a question if y'all have time. Obviously, nothing is gonna get y'all in trouble, right? Shout out Classy K. Ash, what up? Let's go ahead and get into this video from the Ville. Let's see what happened.
Idea to help the court. I don't think it's in hindsight, I don't think it's a good idea to help the court. I don't think it's a good idea to try to insert yourself. And I don't think it's a good idea, especially to try to involve yourself in a situation like this involving UMG and Drake. If you don't know, Joe Cat, aka Joseph Brayna, was a person that tried to submit an amicus brief for the lawsuit involving Drake and UMG. Now, after he filed this amicus brief, and if you don't know what an amicus brief is, it's basically being a friend of the court and trying to submit information to help the court in this case. Now,
a friend of the court just sounds crazy, bro. A friend of the court, a friend of the court. I'm a friend of the court. I don't know what it is. Like, it's not like it's not like we're criminals or I'm a criminal, but being a friend of the court just sounds like, ugh. Like, I don't get that. That's weird. That's weird verbiage.
The court and try to submit information to help the court in this case. Now, he claims to be a neutral, meaning that he doesn't want to help Drake. He doesn't want to help UMG. He wants to help the court by claiming to have valuable information. So he submits this amicus brief,
sound like a fed, right?
Valuable information to help this case by becoming a whistleblower, by being a whistleblower. He claims that he could do all of this, right? Now, at first, I wondered what information did he have? What type of information did he think was so valuable that he had to submit an amicus brief in this case? Also, I wanted to...
That was another one of my questions too, right? Is the information that he had or claimed to have, I don't want to say proprietary, but is it information that we can find and that you've just compiled and made it easy? Or is it just like you have a whole different data set that we don't have and that could really be helpful? That's kind of one of the things that I wanted to know when doing this, because if the information is readily available for everybody and they just haven't found it, then Hell no, I don't want your help. I can do this myself. What am I paying you for if I can find the information myself? Right? So does anybody know that?
To know exactly what was his angle. What angle was he going for? Why was he even participating in this case in general? Because what made you feel like you could involve yourself in this in the first place? What personal vendetta do you have? Or what is the thing that is causing you to do all this, right? He claims to be somebody in the industry, but we really didn't know his motive and why he would be doing this in the first place. So as I'm questioning what's going on with this individual, everybody else is doing the same.
Exactly.
Rightfully so. He just comes out of nowhere, files an amicus brief on one of the biggest lawsuits in hip hop. And everybody's reacting to it. Everybody wants to know, well, who is this guy? Anybody following this case wants to know, why is he doing this? And who is he? What's his motive? Well, as the days went on, as the time went on,
Jay Nolan
and others started reacting to his amicus brief that he had filed in this court case, as everybody's reacting to this court case, creators like Jay Nolan and Absolutely and myself had talked about him. But the difference is that he's actually stepped into Jay Nolan and Absolutely's comments, specifically Jay Nolan's, where he spent 12 hours trying to argue with people in the comments who were questioning who he was.
12 hours? Initially, I didn't even believe that was the same person until I looked at his page, and it looks like it was him. He spent 12 hours trying to discuss who he was. Why did he feel the need to do that? That doesn't even make any sense. On Absent Streams, he said he has info only he has access to that in his opinion can help make a ruling. Yeah, that's what I said. He has to have some sort of tools that can track certain sets of data that is proprietary to him, which is why it's like nobody else is going to have this information, just me. But if you think about that, how is that even possible? How is it possible that you have information that all of these other entities don't have? I mean, the Spotifys, the Apple Musics, the Billboards, you're the only one who's able to compile this information and they're not able to do it? That's kind of weird. He has to be a friend of the court because he's not taking sides with the plaintiff or the defense. Apparently, he fights for artists, and he's seen UMG. Yeah. So we know that's the angle he's taking is I don't have a dog in a fight, right? I don't have a dog in a fight. I'm just here so I can help artists in the future. But I guess when there's a pot of gold at the end, it doesn't seem like it's as genuine as it could be, right? I bet Drake reaches out to him to get the info. He probably already has the info.
And where he was.
What up, J2?
From. A lot of people were saying if he was siding with Drake. A lot of people thought, was he siding with UMG? Was he actually a neutral? Nobody knew his angle, so people were just speculating because nobody knows who this guy is. Jay Nolan, and shout out Jay Nolan, decided to step in because he kept commenting and replying to people nonstop in his comment section. This is one of the comments. Joe Cat says, this is exactly why the industry never heals, because even when someone documents the system with receipts, people assume a payout, not a motive. No one has shown proof I took anything from OVO. They just project, and no one would speak unless they were paid to. That's the trauma. That's why nothing ever changes. Now, there is way more comments, and there's a lot of more questionable comments in this comment section. I'm just going to read this one where Jay Nolan.
This is exactly why the industry never heals, because even when someone documents the system with receipts, people assume a payout, not a motive. No one has shown proof I took anything from OVO. They just project that no one would speak unless they were paid to. That's the trauma. But if I'm not mistaken, what up, K-Shanae? If I'm not mistaken, isn't that the way he filed for my lawyers out there? Isn't that the way he filed to say, I'm filing in a way that if you guys use my information, I can get a kickback later? That's at least the understanding that we had, right? So to say, I mean, because why not just present the information and say, here's what I have. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I just want some clarity, and I want to, let people know this is what's going on. Rap battles don't belong in court, period. This is crazy. Y'all better download Not Like Us or buy it, because if Drake wins, it's getting took down. Just a heads up. I don't even think that's going to happen, man. I don't even think that's going to happen. There's no way. If that happens, I think Drake loses every fan he has ever had. Period. There's no way. There's no way that happens.
More comments, and there's a lot of
But
more
it could. I
questionable
mean, I'm
comments
just saying.
in this comment section. I'm just going to read this one where Jay Nolan responds to him. But if you want to check out the video, you could go to Jay Nolan's channel. Shout out Jay Nolan. I highly recommend it. Jay Nolan says, I see you've taken some time out to respond to quite a few comments here. Would you mind doing a short-term interview on my channel to give more understanding on what your position is here as a neutral party? Like I said, people were speculating. People didn't know who he was. They didn't know his angle. Or is he a neutral or not? What was his purpose? Is he against Drake? Is he against the system? What is going on? He says, I'll pass. If the initial coverage had been neutral, that might have been a different conversation, but I'm not here to explain myself after the fact. The filings speak louder than the interviews ever will. Jay Nolan says, fair enough. So
I'll pass so basically he's saying if Jay Nolan had not have taken a side, in a sense, if he had not taken a side, then he would talk. I get that, but not saying anything also allows the narrative to be spun about you. Right? If you get on and state a, make a statement and say, hey, this is why I'm doing it, maybe people understand you. But again, it could also look like you're defending yourself too. And if you just don't want to look like you're defending yourself, I completely understand that as well. Why does he find a need to aid a guy who is known for being a perpetrator of the same issue? What type of selective vigilante activity is that? Dot could go after UMG if that happens. Yeah, right? If they decide to take it down or try to take it down. Now, you think Drake fans would be upset and not like us being removed? You're right. I don't think the Drake fans would, but I just feel like anyone who's teetering the fence would absolutely be like, yo, I'm done with you, dog. Like, we're not doing this no more. Not getting on with Jay Nolan is dumb. You're not here to explain yourself, but in the comments arguing. That's what I'm saying. You're already here. You're already here. You're in the comments. So that to me lets me know that maybe he didn't want to get on and have someone get a gotcha moment or poke holes in a story in real time, because you can always go back and edit your comment. You can always go back and remove or delete your comment, right? That's what it's there for, you know? You could also say that wasn't me, right? Plausible deniability. You can be like, yo, that wasn't me. I didn't even have my phone, bro. Somebody was in my phone and was going through and doing all of that, and I ain't have nothing to do with it. But if it was really him, or if he really wanted to provide some sort of clarity, I would have hopped on and just maybe had a line of questions that I was okay with answering, right? Sidebar, but is there any way for us to suggest songs for you to check out? Yes, you can in Discord. But he didn't take a side. Ban and Kendrick is UMG's cash cow. Jay Nolan did not pick a side. He was clear about what he thought the amicus brief was, but ended with, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. Facts. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I feel like, but however Jay Nolan said it, bro took that as you took a side. That's what I'm saying. He's saying he wasn't neutral. So I feel like even when I speak on things, I try to be neutral, but with the information that you give me, I tend to kind of move in a certain way. If you giving me the information that makes me think, how could I think any other way, right? Pull a Drake, it wasn't me. Body double. Facts.
For clarity, you'd rather spend your morning speak louder than the interviews ever will. Jay Nolan says, fair enough. So for clarity, you'd rather spend your morning responding to comments, still defending and explaining yourself on my channel, than to just have a conversation where people could more easily understand your stance on the subject. Not a problem. See, this is exactly the point that I was trying to make. He spent hours in the comment section. Jay Nolan even offered him an interview, and he did not.
But that's what I'm saying. The reason why he don't take that interview is because these are just YouTube comments. They can be deleted. They can be removed. They can be edited. They can be altered. Plausible deniability says, yo, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. Yeah. Right. Like, I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So if you get on camera and start talking about it, there's no way to deny that wasn't you. That's why he doesn't take, he's not dumb. Clearly, he's not dumb. If he gets on camera and starts talking about it while this is still being decided in the courts, then he feels they deny me, which they end up doing in the first place. But maybe he thinks they deny me if I get on camera. It is dumb to be in the comments, but he has that plausible deniability there. Facts.
Denied it. So I guess Joe Cat rather argue in the comment section than talk about it with the person that actually owns the channel. And obviously, just like Jay Nolan and everybody else, we want to know exactly where this guy's coming from. Why not just sit down and do the interview with Jay Nolan? He turns it down. He goes back and forth with Jay Nolan. He refuses to do the interview, and he continues to argue with people in the comment section, saying a lot of questionable things, not only in the comment section, but online as well, when he has UMG tag and he has Exhibit A, Universal UMG. And then he also has things like this where he says stuff like, if anything happens to me, start with Drake and gifting chains. So now he's talking about...
Wait, what? When was this? 4:44 a.m. If anything happened, oh, this is getting crazy, bro. If anything happens to me, start with Drake and gifting chains. What does that mean? What? What on earth kind of choices are these? Bro, he tagged the FTC, the FCC, the Justice Department, the NSA, the SEC, Gov, whatever. I don't even know what that is, the SEC. The White House, Donald Trump, and the FBI. Yeah, getting crazy has been crazy. It really has been crazy, but it seems like we in a freaking episode of Black Mirror. Shout out to Black Mirror, by the way. If you know, you know. Season 7 was crazy. I still think the first 3 episodes are my favorite. The last 3 were good, but the first 3 were nuts. If you haven't watched it, check it out. We can talk about it. But if anything happens to me, start with Drake and gifting chains. What does that mean? There's a little bit of like that, like veiled. Just tell us what you're talking about, bro.
Stuff like, if anything happens to me, start with Drake and gifting chains. So now he's talking about UMG being Exhibit A, and now he's talking about if something happens to him, start with Drake and whoever's gifting him chains. And then he tags Donald Trump, the White House, and all these other entities. Yeah, what is this guy doing? You know, what is he doing exactly? Like, all these posts that he makes online just makes me feel like this person is not a reliable source.
Oh, wait, he sound unhinged, bro. They'll call it symbolic branding, aggressive marketing, persona construction, or artist expression, but they'll never say the word ritual. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, but here's the crazy part, though, gang. I feel like you're only crazy until it's proven. You're only crazy until it's proven. Like, I could ask everybody here, right? Do y'all think that there's some weird stuff that goes on in Hollywood and in the music industry? And 99% of y'all would be like, yeah, bro. Like, you ever see when they get the black eye, or you ever see what, do you think that somebody has to get, unalived in order for somebody to get on? You can go down the list and people will be like, yeah, I believe it. Then when somebody said, it'd be like, nah, this is unhinged, bro. This ain't real. And I'm like, it's only crazy until it's proven. But that's a tough situation. But I think that's also because I tend to lean on the side of believing that people experience or see things and share them, and then just people just don't believe them and they just get labeled crazy or weird or off. I tend to believe those people sometimes. But a lot of times you are kind of, you're proven wrong, bro, and you're just crazy. I don't know if that's the case here, but I think that when I see stuff like this, they'll call it symbolic branding, aggressive marketing, persona construction, or artist expression, but they'll never say the word ritual. I'm like, we've seen it. Bro, did y'all see the KFC commercial? Stop it. If y'all go back and watch the KFC commercial, They dipping, man. Go watch the KFC commercial, bro. I ain't even gonna say nothing. Just go watch the KFC commercial. If y'all know what I'm talking about, go watch the KFC commercial. If you're watching this at home, go watch the KFC commercial, fam. It's crazy. I haven't eaten at KFC in like 15 years, bro. 15 years. And I ain't finna start now. Pull it up. Ain't no way. No, the new one. The new KFC commercial. Look up KFC commercial and conspiracy and you will see what I'm talking about. You will see what I'm talking about. Did you see Wayne's? Yeah, we're going to get into that too. We're going to get into that in the next stream. The next stream, we will be discussing that. When I saw it, I'm like, they ain't hiding, bro, they ain't hiding nothing. This is ridiculous.
Like all
my bad, gang. We went off on a tangent.
Chains, and then he tags Donald Trump, the White House, and all these other entities. Yeah, what is this guy doing? You know, what is he doing exactly?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing.
Like all these posts that he makes online just makes me feel like this person is not a reliable source. After seeing him in the comment section,
all while breaking kick streaming TOS, I forgot we only punish the smaller creators. Billionaires operate with immunity. Drake is now getting paid over $3.4 million for a single weekly stream on Kick. That was my other thing, bro. We talked about this yesterday, right? We talked about Drake and streaming on Kick. And my thoughts on that now are, I don't really know what he's making from music. Like touring and everything is the way that the artists make a ton of money. Music, I don't think they really make a lot of money off the music that they make. But streaming and making $3.4 million a week is like, that might be what he needs to help pay for legal fees. Not saying that he's broke, because I don't want nobody to misconstrue that. But I'm not trying to pay out my pocket with what, you know what I'm saying, with this. Hey, let's go do this little side hustle. Let's stream once a week, and that's going to pay for the legal fees, which means we can keep this up as long as we want. We can keep this up as long as we want. You could also be cleaning up the money too. But I kind of wonder how he would do that. Making the legit money to clean the dirty money, right? That's what we could do there. But I also think he could be doing that to say, hey, bro, I'm not paying out of pocket. I'm going to keep this going. Kick going to keep paying me $3 million a week. I need to pay my lawyers. We can keep this going as long as possible. Right? He's doing $1 million bets every other day. That should say enough. Yeah, Drake had to get a second job. Funny how I went from Drake saying F Kick to this. Because he's a whore. You got to go where the money is. You got to go where the money is, bro. Don't get in the booth, make albums and go tour. Let's get on Kick. And he might still do that. He might still make music on Kick. He might be doing the 2-for-1. I'm going to make music on Kick. I'm going to get paid while y'all watch me make music. But then where's the mystique in making the music? The ghostwriters can't come on camera. No, pause. The ghostwriters can't be on camera with you. Yeah, right. You watch the ghostwriters, right? The courts will not let this drag because it's going to get extremely expensive for the boy. And that's why I feel like he's taking on this second gig, making that $3.4 million a week. 3 M's a week is crazy work. People forget he's still under a $400 million contract with UMG. That's a debt that has to be paid back, especially if he hasn't. Let's just say they paid him $400 million and he's only made $100 million. You got to pay some of that back, bro. We paid for everything off rip and probably gave you the signing bonus. Oh, and the advance. I'm sorry, the advance. We probably gave you the advance too. Now you got to pay that back, bro. Oh, now I want out of my deal. No, I'm not paying all that back. No, you going to pay every penny back, bro. Hope he let on that stream the rant. He probably will. Has to be paid with an asterisk, right?
In Jay Nolan's video, what is he doing exactly? Like all these posts that he makes online just makes me feel like this person is not a reliable source. After seeing him in the comment section in Jay Nolan's video, Absolutely's video, and even before I made my video, I already questioned who this person was, and I already had thought that the court wasn't going to use anything that he had because I felt like it was just going to be something that they would dismiss right away. It didn't seem like it would fit their purpose, and I didn't think the courts wouldn't want to get anybody else involved in this case. It's already messy as it is. This guy is completely unhinged. When it comes to arguing in the comment section, when it comes to posting stuff like this online, it was clear as day that this guy was not a reliable source. Any type of credibility that he had submitting that amicus brief is completely shot when he started reacting to himself online.
That's crazy.
When he started commenting and arguing with people in the comment section, and when he started posting stuff like this after the...
It almost seemed like maybe it was a play to get people to dig into what he does, to maybe see if they would be interested in utilizing the services or knowing what type of information he had, right? But it's kind of weird to go into, I guess Jay Nolan was one of the bigger communities talking about it. So I'd be all in there too, trying to, drum up some dirt, drum up some sort of issue to have people wondering about who I am and what I do and all of that. So that's crazy though.
When he started commenting and arguing with people in the comment section, and when he started posting stuff like this after the fact, it just led me to believe that this guy is not a reliable source. At first, I thought it could have just been for money, but now I'm starting to think that it was just for clout. I'm starting to think that this was just for attention. And I think the court agrees.
I agree.
It says right here in a brief description, April 14, 2025, order denying 33 letter motion to file amicus brief. The court does not find that the proposed amicus submission would aid the court in its consideration of this matter.
So they could be saying we can get this information. We already have this information, or this isn't information that we even need to make a decision. We good. Basically, we good. Hit that like button, gang. 30 more likes till we get 100 likes in the stream. I appreciate you. We good. We don't need you. Could you imagine, though? Could you imagine if the court would have had to have, give credit to somebody else for them making a decision in this case, maybe another case, but this one, they like, nah, we handle this on our own, bro. We don't want nobody else attached to this. If we're gonna figure it out, we'll figure it out on our own.
Does not find that the proposed amicus submission would aid the court in its consideration of this matter. Accordingly, leave to file an amicus brief is denied, hereby ordered by Judge Jeanette Vargas. So she denied the amicus brief. And obviously this was something that was going to happen because of how this individual was talking online. And after a while, after making the video, after watching everybody else's video, and after seeing how he was reacting in the comments, it's no surprise that the court is going to deny this guy's request to help. I don't think that no court in their right mind would want help from an individual who would argue in the comment section for hours and would make posts like this about Drake and would make posts about UMG like this. Somebody who's willing to make posts like this and is claiming to be a friend of the court and claims to be a neutral wouldn't post shit like this. I was already questioning this guy's credibility the day I heard about this guy. But after some time went by, I realized...
That's a great point, though, because even this post right here, if anything happens to me, start with Drake. If and this is before the ruling came out that he was denied, right? So even if you look at that, it's like your agenda is against Drake in a sense. So they be like, no, we're not doing that because you just proven that you do have a dog in the fight after saying you didn't have a dog in the fight. So
argue in the comment section for hours and would make posts like this about Drake and would make posts about UMG like this. Somebody who's willing to make posts like this and is claiming to be a friend of the court and claims to be a neutral wouldn't post shit like this. I was already questioning this guy's credibility the day I heard about this guy. But after some time went by, I realized that this guy is not reliable. The court doesn't think that he's reliable. The public doesn't think that he's reliable. And everybody else who's covered him doesn't think that he's reliable at all. With posts like this and comments like this, it's no wonder that Joe Cat got denied. And I'm glad he did. I'm glad that he got his amicus brief denied. Because now I'm starting to think he probably didn't have anything of real value. Right. If he really did, he wouldn't be out here arguing publicly.
That's what I'm saying.
With so many people. You would have stayed quiet.
Bro, you would have just let the evidence speak for itself. But that's an insecure mindset, though. When you got to get out here and be like, I got to defend it. I got to defend it. I got to defend it. No. If the evidence is that good, let it speak for itself. That's it.
quiet because you knew the information that you had was more important to share than to try to defend yourself online. I just think it's strange how this guy came out of nowhere. He tried to insert himself.
What up, Hoodie?
He acted like people should already know who he is, but nobody even knows who he is or where he comes from. Acts like people shouldn't question where he comes from. At the end of the day, I think this guy just messed himself up. I think he shot himself in the foot. Now, granted, I never thought that he was going to be approved. I always thought that he was going to get denied anyways. But after making the video and seeing everything that he had posted online, I knew immediately, like, yeah, this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
If he really cared, he wouldn't be doing all of this. So when I saw all of this behavior online, I knew that he was going to get denied instantly. It was already questionable before that. But after this, it was a no-brainer.
Facts.
And he should have took that interview, because now it looks like nobody is going to hear what he had to say.
Like, who wants to hear what you got to say now? Oh, this is everything I had. Who cares now? We don't care. It's over. It's denied. It doesn't matter. Beforehand, if you had been able to tell us, it would have been like, man, and they didn't even want to see it. They didn't even want the info, bro. I tried to give it to them. This is what we had. This is what I gave them. And then if it got denied, we do a follow-up. They didn't want it. Guess they didn't think they needed it. But now, who cares?
And honestly, at this point, I don't think nobody's going to want to interview him. He had his chance and he lost it. He filed his amicus and he lost it. He had his nonprofit and he lost it. I think this individual should have never inserted himself in the situation to begin with. He was just left with rejection and lost more than he gained coming into this. But y'all tell me how you feel.
Because now he look like a clown. Shout out to Viville, because now he look like a clown. Imagine if he did have some sort of like, you know what I'm saying? Like if he had some sort of reputation, like a good reputation. Now he looks like a clown. Doing this made him look like a clown. And not submitting the information, but the way he went about trying to fight and argue with people in comments and all of that made him look like a clown. He didn't have to do all of that. If I was him, I probably would have taken the interview. I would have definitely wanted to talk about it and kind of add some perspective and context to it. But like I said, him just fighting and arguing just made it look like the information he had maybe wasn't as good as he thought it was. Obviously, the courts didn't think so, right? Clout is a threat to national security. That's a bar. Do me a favor, chat. Yes, like the homie Zay2 said, double tap the screen if you guys haven't done it already. 20 more likes till we get to 100 likes in the stream. We got a whole ass another stream where we got to do some reading. We got to talk about Drake again. And we also got to talk about UMG telling him to be careful what he wishes for. So if you guys want to see that, man, turn the notification bell on. You guys know exactly what we're about to do. We're about to end the stream, and we're going to get right into the next one. If you guys haven't done it already, man, subscribe to the channel. Really helps out. We're on the way to 30,000 subscribers. Can't do it without your help. Like the stream, so it definitely gets recommended to others. It really helps out a lot. Join the Discord. It is free. Follow me on all my socials. But I'm pulling up the next stream. It should be up here in about 3 minutes. Let me close this one out, and we on to the next one. We got a lot of reading to do. I'm out. Peace.